So I just thought I'd do a quick little overview of how I set up my mini Draks. So I've got a standard mini Drak over here, and I have a mini Drak with the EPP hot wire cut plank wings on it that Chris has started doing. I haven't flown this one yet, but I've flown this one heaps of times, and it's probably the best plane that I've ever flown. I fly it more than anything. I don't really fly much other planes anymore. So I'll show you how I set it up on the mini Drak plank. So basically I've cut into the front here a notch for my run cam too, and that's just got the run cam holder underneath it glued to the foam. Got my HS177 camera. I have an inverted V for my 1.3 video. That's fairly easy to remove if I need to pack it up really small. Just look a few drops of hot glue in there to hold it together. I'm running an Eagle Tree Vector, so I have my GPS on this side. And then here is my half-wave dipole for my Dragon Link. So we'll go into the bay. Because I'm going for duration with this plane, I'm setting it up with an 8000 4S. This pack here, so I've put a foam block on the front to help give it a bit of strength, but also to help make sure I put the battery where it's supposed to go. So the battery just sits in there like that with a bit of velcro, and I'll just tuck that in out of the way for now. So you can see it's quite compact, but it does fit, and it's quite a big battery for this plane, but I'm estimating I'll get about an hour and a half flight time out of it, and maybe up to about 30 k's if I wanted to go that far. So I've got my Vector here. It's just the Vector power module, ESC and motor. This is just an ESC and motor off a Team Black Sheep Discovery quad. So this is only a 900 kV. I'm not quite sure of the size. I think it's a 2216 or something along those lines. And I'm running, I think this is a 9x6. It doesn't even say what it is, but it seems to work quite well, so I'm going to give it a go. I like the folding props because it's just less worry about having to break one in the field and replace it. And then I'll just hold the plane up. You'll see on the motor I've just made out of a bit of steel a little bracket there, and the reason is that stops those props folding back further than that. They hit that, and you need that because if you're using folders on a pusher and they fold further back than that, when you go to rev up, the prop won't flip out. It'll actually stay in and it'll spin and probably destroy your motor. So it's just a little bracket with a bit of a couple bends on it. In this bay here, see I have my 1.3 800 milliwatt video transmitter. My servos run from the wings into this bay, and then I have extensions running from there to there, so I just plug it in and unplug it there when I'm packing it up. In this bay is my Dragon Link receiver. That also has a 5V BEC going into it, which then goes back into the Vector. So I have a backup 5V. I have 5V from the ESC and 5V from another BEC. I've not had one of these fail, but just in case, I put the backup in there. And that's about it really. Quick little overview of this Drak. Similar setup, but I've put the VTX out on the wing and the Dragon Link receiver on the wing, and that was just because I knew I wouldn't have to pack this plane up very often. It's small enough to just chuck in the car, and I just wanted to have a bit more separation. This is all sitting on a 3D printed mount, which I've glued into the plane so that I could cable tie everything down. It keeps it really solid because this plane does hit trees. I don't want stuff flying around. I've cut a hold, so I want to do a bit of mapping with it. This plane will easily fly for 30-40 minutes. Same deal again, I've just got all my connections in the bays so that I can undo my wings and just undo everything there. And same with this side. I've had this plane up to 189 kilometers an hour with wind and in a dive, but it only draws about 8 amps when I'm just cruising, and that's just running a Sunny Sky 2012 with a 7x6 folding prop on it. It's a pretty good little plane, and they're just the right wing Drak standard servo, us with pivot horns I guess you call them, and that's the same on the plank wing. I didn't cut my elevons out to the template that Chris had made. I was probably in a bit of a rush to just cut them out, and that was the same with the plank wings, but this thing flies really well, so I'm not too worried about it. One thing I would say is if you're ever thinking of doing black, this is Plasti Dip, but if you're doing black and then laminating it, maybe don't. It looks horrible. The laminate shows up through it, whereas if you look on this wing, this is a really bright coloured wing, so the laminate just doesn't show up. It's comes up really clean. And then just for when I'm flying at line of sight, doing a bit of tuning, I've done the underside blue on this as well, just to help give me a bit of differentiation between what's what. So yeah, if you have any questions, just put me a comment and put me a message, and I'll see if I can answer it. Sweet.